Hi guys, welcome back once again into this channel Aspire to Attain. Marina. Marina is a poem by T.S. Eliot and it was published in 1930, and it is also quite unconventional poem. It belongs to a real series of poems. So what is a real series of poems? A real series of poems are those poems which were published for religious perspective only for the publication, for leaflet or for pamphlet form. And whenever T.S. Eliot was working in conjugation with Faber Company, he composed such type of poems. So this poem belongs to the Ariel group of poems. This poem reflects T.S. Eliot's own attitude towards destiny, towards fate, and towards religion. Here, one thing we must have to remember that T.S. Eliot was converted to Anglicanism Christianity in 1927, and from then on he practiced Christianity quite faithfully. So here his conviction towards religion, his belief towards religion and destiny and faith are quite minutely reflected in the poem Marina. Marina in French means marine or sea. So it is quite clear to all of us that in this poem there is the mention of sea life or sea. But before going into the main theme of the poem, before going into the line by line illustration of the poem, I think that we need to learn some of the background information that will be quite beneficial to learn this poem. So please, those who are new to this channel, subscribe and please press the bell icon of this channel to get much more notification. The main inspiration of the poem is Shakespeare's Pericles. So T.S. Eliot took the main motto, main inspiration of this poem from Shakespeare's Pericles. In Shakespeare's Pericles, we see that Pericles is escaping from the battleground, and he is quite exhausted. He has left behind his wife Thyesa in the battleground in an uncomfortable way. Pericles does not know what is the actual condition of his wife Thyesa, but in the battleground, Thyesa gave birth of a little girl child and dies there. But after few days, whenever Pericles was the princess of but after few days, whenever Pericles was the prince of Tyre, he goes to a dance bar and there sees a beautiful girl dancing and singing. And then the facial appearance of that girl reminds him of his own wife Thyesa. So now let's begin the poem. Marina by T.S. Eliot. Qui sig locus, qua regio, qua mundi flaga. These epigraph line in Latin taken from the work of Lysias the younger Seneca, where Hercules Fury utters these words. But here one thing we have to remember that there lies a difference between the approach of Hercules and the approach of Pericles. In the work of Lysias the younger Seneca, we see that Hercules Furians utter these words whenever he killed his entire family, his wife, his son, his daughter, in an insanity, in the mood of insanity. And then therefore he does not have any kind of realization, any kind of sensation. He said only that lines, but here the articulation of Pericles is quite different. It is the expression of joy, it is the expression of unbridled exhilaration of heart after watching his daughter Marina in a dance bar. The meaning of this epigraph: Quis hic locus, quae regio, quae mundi flaga. This means that what place is this? Locus means location. So what place is this? What land is this? And qua mundi flaga, what quarter of the globe is this? So these are the questions that Pericles utters in the mood of exhilaration, in the mood of unbridled exhilaration. Next, the line says that what seas, what shores, what grey rocks, and what islands, what water lapping the bow. So here Pericles expresses his excitement and exclamation and inquires what seas, what shores, and what grey rocks, what island. So he says that what is the actual name of the sea and what shore, where is the shore, what is the actual name of the shore, what grey rocks, and what is the name of the grey rocks, and what is the name of the island. What water lapping the bow? Actually, bow is the very front part of a ship. So it takes the ship to propel about, to advance forward. So whenever the water from the ship comes and overlaps the bow, or whenever the water comes and hits the bow, then the trickle of water is seen there. So therefore the speaker Pericles utters that what water lapping the bow. So which kind of water, or actually the what body from the water is coming out and lashing into the bow part of the ship. And the scent of the pine and the wood thrush singing through the fog. And then Pericles hears that the scent of the pine. So the scent of the pine trees are spreading everywhere, and the music, the singing music of a wood thrush bird is coming through the fog. What images return to my daughter, and what images return, oh my daughter. And these are the images which really bewildering to him, because he is quite amazed. So therefore Pericles says that what images return. So these entire descriptions give to Pericles a beautiful presentation of the entire scenario. In fact, these are the panoramic presentation of the entire scenario. So therefore he says that what images return, oh my daughter. Then he just watching his daughter and says that what is the image, what is the scenario that he is actually in. Those who sharpen the tooth of the dog, meaning death. So these stanza, or these four lines are the very remembrance of the seven sin inscribed in the Bible. So here Pericles utters that, Pericles expresses that those who sharpen the tooth of dog, meaning death. So those people who are quite avaricious, who tries to well his own will by fraud, by means of any kind of work, that means that he is doing a sin, and the result is death. So here one thing we have to remember, that the sharpen the teeth of a dog, that means that to gain something, to do something. So therefore whenever a person is trying to gain something and he flatters something, so here we must have to remember that those people who flatter someone to gain something, to gain some material gain, that means that it is a sin, and the result is death. Those who glitter with the glory of the hummingbird, meaning death. Those people who try to show affectation just like the hummingbird, like means that death. So those people who show affectations, who show artificiality, and who behave with people in a show off manner, so they are actually committing a kind of sin, and that means death. Those who sit in the sty of contentment, meaning death. Those people who sit in a sty, sty actually is a place where pigs are kept. So those people who remain quite content by sitting in a sty, by sitting in a cattle ground, that means that they are actually apprehending their death. They are actually doing nothing. Those who suffer the ecstasy of animals, meaning death. Those people who enjoys the ecstasy, or who enjoys the animal ecstasy. That means that animals most often go through revelry, and they don't have in their life any kind of ambition, and after few time in their revelry they die. So those people who behave just like the animal and have no meaning, no ambition in their life, they are actually apprehending their death, are become substantial, reduced by wind. So here the implication is that Pericles has done all kind of menial act. He has taken the resort of all kind of sins to gather wealth, but such type of gathers are now unsubstantial to him, because these are not at all going to be a part of his long run life after death. So therefore Pericles says that those wealth have become unsubstantial, reduced by the wind. By the wind means by the flow of time. So whenever wind blows, the time also flows, and this means that the tenure of the human being is gradually ending. So here the life of Pericles is gradually coming to an end. A breath of pine and wood-sung fog by the grace dissolved in place. And then the speaker Pericles hears the breath of pine. So the pine smell spreads everywhere, and the wood song from the fog comes to him, and then gradually they also dissolve in the place where Pericles is actually standing before his daughter Marina. What is this face? Less clear and clearer. Now Pericles is now standing before his daughter, and he watches his face. But the fact is that he does not actually clearly remember the face of his wife, and therefore he is not at all able to pinpoint the exact figure, exact shape of his daughter's face. So therefore he says that what is this face? Less clear and clearer. So this face is less clear, but with the passage of time, as his remembrance goes past by, and the face of the daughter becomes quite clear to him. The pulse in the arm less strong and stronger. The pulses, that means the strength of his arm, that are quite less, but whenever he saw his daughter, now his pulses, his strength is now quite vigorous. Given or lent, more distant than star and nearer than the eye. And those strength or those energy, those vigor which are given to him has been spent by him very well. And now the appearance of the girl, the appearance of the daughter seems to him quite near to him than the eye. Whispers and small daughters between leaves and hurrying feet under sleep, where all the waters meet. And whispers and small laughters are coming when people are leaving the dance bar, and hurrying feet under sleep. And some of the feet, some of the people are trying to make hurry to reach their home so that there they can sleep, where all the waters meet, where all the form of life actually comes to an end. So the implication is that here every people are hurrying to meet the inevitable end of their life. A bowsprit cracked with ice and paint cracked with heat. This stanza takes us to the life in the ship. Actually, these are the days when Pericles spent her youthful figure, but with the passage of time, now he has become quite decrepit, and he has no vigor left to do some great work. So here the speaker says that bowsprit cracked with ice. So bowsprit means the front part of the ship which has been cracked with the clashes with ice, and a paint cracked with heat, and due to the hot temperature, the paint of the ship has withered now, and the paint is not looking quite good, but rather the paint has become quite cracked and blurred. I made this, I have forgotten and remembered, and I am the only person who have seen everything, who have made the ship crack, and who have made the paint of the ship cracked. And I have forgotten and remembered. I have forgotten everything, and now I am now remembering those past experiences after seeing Marina. The rigging weak and the canvas rotten. Rigging weak means that the mast of the ship has now become quite weak, and is now quite deplorable to bear any kind of onslaught from nature. And the canvas rotten, and the canvas of the ship has become quite torn, and are not at all able to bear the load of the ship to flow through the river between one June and another September. And all these type of cases of becoming decrepit, becoming defunct has taken in one June and another September month, made this unknowing, half conscious unknown my own. And I am the only person. The Pericles says that he is the only person who has made everything, sometimes unconsciously, sometimes consciously, and sometimes unknowingly. The gearboard strake leaks, the steams need caulking. The gearboard means that the plank, the lower part of the ship has become a leak, and the seam need caulking. And now this needs some kind of repair. Otherwise, the ship will be sinking soon. Actually, these lines are the very remembrance of the fact that the death of the speaker is imminent, and he had enjoyed his life to its full, and now he is now on the threshold of death. This form, this face, this life, living to live in a world of time beyond me. So here the speaker Pericles is now observing the face of his daughter Marina, and he expresses his apprehension that how does his daughter spend her time, spend her days without the help of his own father. So the speaker says that this form, this face, this life, the appearance, the body, the facial structure, and the life of Marina, which was struggling to live in a world beyond the present, beyond the presence of his father. Let me resign my life for this life. Now, the speaker wishes that he wants to resign from his own life to live for the sake of his own daughter. So, that means that the speaker wants to live with his daughter Marina. My speech for the unspoken. Now, what I have said to the person who has not yet spoken about anything to me. So far in this poem, we have seen that Marina has not spoken anything to his daughter. So therefore, here the speaker uh, Pericles unharks his own heart to his daughter Marina. The arrogant lips parted, the hope the new shapes. Now the speaker says that he has now waken up from his own sensibility and is willing to speak with his daughter, and this will give him a new hope as well as a new shape. So new shape means the new journey for the new ways of life. So here the speaker is quite convinced that after speaking with the daughter Marina, Pericles will be able to lead a very prosperous and comfortable life. What seas, what shores, what granite islands towards my timbers. Now, whenever the speaker is wishing to lead a comfortable life with his daughter, then he sees that what seas and what shores, what granite island towards my timbers. Timbers is actually the representative of his ship. So here the seas, the swords, and the granites are the representative of all kind of obstacle in the ways of life. So these are the hindrance, these are the encumbrance which are going to befall on the life of death. So whenever Pericles is willing to spend a good life just like a new ship, but there appears the onslaught of granite, the seas and the swords, and therefore the ship is not at all able to propel about towards its own destination. And would thrust calling through the fog, my daughter, and then the speaker hears the call or the song of a woodthrush bird, and that means that he needs to go beyond this earthly life. He needs to go towards his heavenly journey, and finally the speaker bids goodbye to his daughter Marina. So this is the summary of the entire poem Marina.